Dear listeners, I welcome you to my channel. Leave your comments and impressions, I value your opinion. I sit across from Marco in the dim light of his living room, the air thick with the scent of his hand-rolled cigar. He's been my best friend since college, the kind of friend who knows all your secrets, the darkest corners of your life. I trust him implicitly, which is why, when he hesitates before speaking, a knot forms in my stomach. Jess, Marco begins, his voice unusually serious as he leans forward, pausing the video he's just shown me on his tablet. Buddy, you know her boss is a public figure, so tomorrow this video will be all over the news. The screen is frozen on a frame that makes my heart stop. My wife Lara, laughing up at her boss at some glittering event, her hand lingering just a bit too long on his arm. They look intimate, far more than appropriate. My throat tightens, and the words don't come. Marco reaches across the table, his face etched with concern. I thought you should see it before it hits the media. This isn't easy, I know. How long? How long have I been the fool? I try to form words, try to express the betrayal, the hurt, but nothing comes out. I'm rendered speechless, a rarity for someone who makes a living on being articulate as a courtroom lawyer. Just say something, please. Marco's voice is a gentle prod. Finally, the dam breaks. How could she? I manage, my voice a whisper. The weight of the revelation makes the room spin. With him? How long has this been going on? I don't know all the details, Marco admits, looking away briefly before meeting my gaze again. But I think you need to be prepared. This might get ugly. Ugly. The word hangs in the air, ominous and heavy. I think about our home, our kids, our shared life, all intertwined with Lara's public persona as a devoted spouse and a high-profile advocate for women in business. The hypocrisy of it makes me sick to my stomach. And what am I supposed to do now, Marco? I ask, anger starting to lace my words. Just sit back and watch my life crumble publicly. He shakes his head. No, Jess, you fight back. You know I've got your back, right? Marco's loyalty is a small comfort in the chaos of my thoughts. I nod, swallowing hard. I need to think, Marco. I need to plan. As I stand, the room feels colder, darker. This isn't just about a scandal or a cheating spouse, I say more to myself than to Marco. This is about my life, my children. I won't let her destroy everything we've built. Marco stands too, placing a hand on my shoulder. Whatever you need, Jess, whatever you need. Walking to my car, the night air feels sharp, as if it too knows the betrayal I've just experienced. The drive home is automatic, my mind racing faster than the city lights blurring past. I think about the legal battles, the media frenzy, the children, but most of all, I think about revenge. A plan starts to form, a way to take back control, to expose not just the affair but the layers of lies and manipulation. This isn't just the end of my marriage. It's the beginning of her nightmare, and I'm just getting started. As I walk through the front door of our house, the silence greets me like an old friend, too familiar and yet so foreign tonight. The clock ticks mockingly in the hallway, each second a reminder of the ticking bomb that my life has become. I need allies, confidants who can help me navigate the wreckage that's about to come. First, I call my sister Elise. She picks up on the second ring, her voice instantly tense. Jess, what's wrong? It's late. It's about Lara, I say, my voice steady, revealing nothing. There's a pause, a breath held. What did she do this time? I explain quickly, succinctly, about the video, about the impending media storm. Elise is quiet for a moment longer than I expect, then sharply inhales. We need to meet. Now. Within an hour, Elise is at my house with our cousin Ray, a burly figure with a knack for security and a past in private investigations. His presence is comforting, his demeanor all business. First things first, Ray starts, setting up his laptop on the kitchen table. We need to secure your digital life. Phones, laptops, everything. You're likely to be hacked or worse, watched. I nod, processing. And then we start digging into her boss. Elise adds, her lips a thin line. If he's as public as you say, he's bound to have skeletons. We find them. The next hours are a blur of activity. Ray works on securing our digital footprints while Elise and I comb through public records, social media, anything that might give us leverage. It's a strange feeling, dissecting someone else's life looking for ammunition, but desperation has a way of dueling the moral compass. Around 3 a.m., Ray slams his laptop shut. Done. They won't get into your stuff now. Not easily anyway. Good, I say, more relieved than I want to admit. Now, about the digging. Anything useful? Elise looks up from her tablet, a spark in her eyes. Oh yes. It seems Mr. High and Mighty has been involved in some questionable business deals. And there's a rumor about an NDA with a former assistant. Perfect, I whisper. A plan forming in my mind. Ray, can you get more on that NDA? He nods, already typing. I'll have something by morning. As dawn creeps up, painting the sky in hues of orange and blue. We're still at the kitchen table, surrounded by papers and glowing screens. Exhaustion is setting in. But so is a strange sense of purpose. Elise reaches over, squeezing my hand. We're in this together, Jess. She won't get away with this. The warmth of her grasp bolsters me. This isn't just my fight anymore. It's our fight. And while the path forward is fraught with uncertainty and potential danger, knowing I'm not alone gives me strength. We need to be smart, careful, I tell them as the first rays of sunlight filter through the blinds. We hit hard and where it hurts, but without exposing ourselves too much. Agreed, Ray says, looking as determined as I feel. As the day breaks fully, I know that the coming weeks will test me in ways I never imagined. But with Elise and Ray by my side, I feel ready to face whatever comes. Ready to fight back. Ready to reclaim my life from the ruins of deceit. The world outside is just beginning to stir as I make another pot of coffee, the bitter aroma filling the kitchen. My mind races with every possibility, every move we could make. It's a chessboard, and each piece must be played with precision. I've got something, Ray announces from across the room, his voice cutting through my thoughts. I hurry over, Elise right behind me, as he turns his laptop to face us. The NDA was settled quietly, but I have a contact who can get us a copy. It's risky though. We'd be exposing them to a lot of heat if this gets traced back. Do it, I reply without hesitation. We need everything we can use. Ray nods, his fingers already flying over the keyboard. Meanwhile, Elise pulls me aside. We need to think about the kids, Jess. This is going to get ugly, and they'll be in the crossfire. Maybe sending them to stay with mom and dad for a while. I nod, feeling a pang of guilt. You're right. I'll take them this afternoon. With that settled, I focus on the next steps. The morning passes in a blur of phone calls and encrypted emails. By noon, Ray has secured a copy of the NDA, and we gather around the table to discuss our strategy. We leak this to the press, Elise suggests, her eyes sharp. An anonymous tip, it'll cause a storm. But we need to be careful about the timing, I add. If this gets out too early, it might give them a chance to spin it their way. Right. Ray agrees. We wait until the initial news about the affair breaks. Let them scramble, then hit them with this. As we finalize our plan, my phone buzzes. It's Marco. Jess, the video is about to go live. Are you ready? I take a deep breath, steadying myself. As ready as I'll ever be. Good. Remember, you have friends. We're all here for you. His words bolster me, a reminder that I'm not alone in this fight. I thank him and hang up. Turning back to Elise and Ray, it's starting. We need to move fast. In the next few hours, the video of Lara and her boss goes viral, spreading across social media and news outlets like wildfire. The reactions are immediate and intense, ranging from shock and sympathy for me to outright condemnation of Lara and her boss. Amidst the chaos, we release the information about the NDA. It hits even harder, fueling the fire of scandal with whispers of corruption and misconduct. The media descends into a frenzy, each outlet trying to outdo the others with more sensational coverage. By evening, the narrative has taken on a life of its own. Lara's image as a committed wife and business leader is shattered, her boss's reputation is in tatters, and I am at the center of a storm I helped create. Sitting back, I watch the news unfold on the screen. The faces of reporters animated as they discuss each new development. It's a surreal feeling, knowing I set these events in motion. Yet, amidst the satisfaction of seeing my plan work, there's a twinge of sadness for what was lost, for the family we might have been. But there's no time for regrets. This is only the beginning, and the real battle is just starting. Lara and her allies will strike back, I have no doubt. And when they do, I'll be ready. I must be. For my kids, for my future, for my own sense of justice. The game is far from over. The days following the scandal are a whirlwind. I shuttle the kids to my parents' place, ensuring they are insulated from the worst of the media storm. Their confused faces haunt me, but this is for their own protection. I return to an eerily silent house, now a command center where Elise, Ray, and I plot our next moves. Jess, you should see this. Ray's voice is tight with urgency as he beckons me over to his laptop. What I see next stops me in my tracks. It's an email, forwarded from an anonymous source, with attachments labeled with dates and cryptic descriptions. What is this? I ask, my voice barely a whisper as I start opening the files. Evidence, Ray says grimly. Not just against Lara's boss but against Lara herself. It looks like she's been funneling company funds into a private account for years. Big amounts, Jess. The room spins as I digest the information. Lara's deception runs deeper than an affair. It's criminal. Elise grabs my arm, steadying me. Jess, what are you going to do? I'm going to the authorities. I say, my decision ringing clear and firm. This ends now with her held accountable for everything. As we prepare the documents to hand over to the police, my phone rings. The display reads Lara. I hesitate, then answer. Jess, please. Lara's voice is shaky, pleading. Let's talk. I can explain everything. There's nothing to explain, I say, my voice cold firm. I know about the money, Lara. It's over. You don't understand, she cries. I did it for us, for the family. I was trying to secure. By lying? By cheating? You've destroyed us, Lara, I interrupt. I hang up, my heart pounding in my chest. The betrayal is more profound than I ever imagined. Hours later, Lara is taken into custody. The media frenzy hits new heights, but I stay out of the spotlight, focusing on rebuilding the shattered pieces of my life and protecting my children. Weeks pass and the dust begins to settle. I start to breathe easier, thinking it's finally over, when Marco visits. He has a somber look on his face that reignites my anxiety. Jess, there's something you need to see. He hands me a sealed envelope and waits as I open it. Inside, there's a letter from Lara and another set of documents. I read her words, a mix of confession and resignation. She admits to everything but insists her actions were motivated by fear of financial ruin during a company crisis years ago. The documents are proof of her initial intent to repay every penny before things spiraled out of control. I look up at Marco, confusion written all over my face. What am I supposed to do with this? That's up to you, Marco says softly, but maybe it's a chance to move on, to really close this chapter for good. I ponder his words, the weight of the decision resting heavily on my shoulders. The next day, I visit Lara. We sit across from each other, the tension palpable. She looks worn, a shadow of the vibrant person I once knew. Why? Is all I can muster. I was scared, she whispers. I thought if I could fix it before anyone noticed, we could avoid the scandal, avoid hurting the kids. I listen, the anger in me subsiding to a dull ache. I realize holding on to the bitterness won't heal us. It won't bring back what was lost. I'll speak to the DA, I finally say. See if your cooperation can mitigate your sentence, for the kids' sake. Lara's eyes fill with tears, relief, and regret mingling in her gaze. Thank you, she manages to say. As I walk out of the detention center, the sun breaks through the clouds, a sliver of light in the gloom. I feel lighter, almost hopeful. Forgiving Lara doesn't excuse her actions, but it frees me from the anger and pain that have held me captive. This is my move towards healing, towards a future where the scars of betrayal don't define us. I drive away, the final pieces of the puzzle settling into place, knowing that while the game was harsh, the ending is mine to write. And in this final play, I choose forgiveness, not for her, but for me and for our children. Checkmate.